Every day we have an opportunity to make a choice. Our kids right today are fearful of their lives. A bunch of preachers and I have been meeting constantly, trying to make a decision as to who we're going to support for the next president of the Cook County Board. And y'all, I'm ashamed of myself for even going to those meetings. Why? Because I know that the most important thing that my people are worried about today is how their children are going to get from home to school and from school back to home. Not one conference. There will be a press conference called tomorrow, and a group of preachers will be standing up, and they will be talking about endorsing a given candidate. And they claim that maybe they're going to have 300 preachers standing up to endorse a candidate. But not one of those preachers, and not one of that whole group of preachers that will do that tomorrow, has held a press conference and said, we're going to stop the violence in our neighborhoods. There is a church in every school district in Chicago. Some school districts have 5 and 10 churches. There's a preacher, therefore, a man of God who could choose to put his resources and his time out there to make sure that our young boys and young girls are able to go to school safely and get back home safely. And what I got to say is this: I ain't going to be at that meeting tomorrow. I'm not going to the meeting tomorrow. That doesn't mean that I'm devoid of the concern of politics, but I can choose what God has told me to do. I know that God has ordained me at this particular point to be concerned about the black boys and black girls that have got to go to school and be able to go to school and not have to worry about being shot down. So I have to make a choice right now. I'm just one person, but I have to make a choice. And if I have to make a choice between whether or not Todd Stroger is going to become the next president of the Cook County Board, or Tony Preckwinkle is going to be the next president, or whoever else is running, I'll make that choice in the right time. Meantime, I'm going to worry about these kids. I'm going to organize and organize and organize and organize. But long before I was a preacher, I was a community organizer, and a good one. I don't have to take back seat to any other community organizer. I am a community organizer. Long before Barack Obama even thought about being an organizer, I was organizing in the streets of Woodlawn. And I was taking on the Blackstone Rangers and the East Side Disciples, and I was making a difference along with other people from the Woodlawn organization. And I say, if we were able to quell the violence back in the 70s and the 80s, we can do it again. If we were able to make the streets of Woodlawn safe, 20 years ago, we can do it again. The choice is ours. The choice is ours. I understand the preachers. I want to make sure that I'd love to be able to see a black in the office of the Cook County Board presidency. I'd love to see that. But let me put it this way. If I could save one life, y'all ain't hearing what I'm saying. If I could save one life that without me being present, that child would lose his or her life, I would forever never stand up and worry about who a political leader would be. Why? Because that one life is precious to me. And it ought to be precious to every man and woman and child in the Christian faith. I got to be on the side of my faith, and my faith says, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy mind. That's the first great commandment. But the second is to love that child that is going to school. Love that boy that's going to school. Love that girl that's going to school. Be his or her neighbor. Stand on the corner and make sure that nobody shoots them down. That's where I choose to be. That's where I choose to be. I can do nothing else. I can do nothing else. I love to sit down and everybody, my wife asks me, what is your first love, the church or politics? And I say, really, the church. Politics has always been a means for me to minister to God's people. But once I lose my way, once I lose my focus, then this office that I have been ordained to, I have violated it. I might as well take off the cross. I might as well take it off if I'm not going to be what I'm ordained to be. Stop walking around and putting on the mantle of Jesus Christ if you don't mean to be a Christian. Stop walking around and acting like you're a Christian and you're really not one. Stop operating as, well, I'm a preacher, but yet when you see somebody down and out, you don't have any time for them. When you see children that are hungry and ill-housed and ill-clothed, you don't have time to give them a dime. You never open your doors to them. I got to say that my faith tells me to choose. And I ask you, what are you doing? What are you doing? And what are you prepared to do as Christians? Are you willing to follow the Good Shepherd? Or are you willing to make your own way? Do you hear what the Good Shepherd says? The Good Shepherd says these words, I am the Good Shepherd. I'm not a hireling. I will lay down my life for my sheep. Are you prepared just to give a part of your life to your sheep? Are you prepared to just give a little bit to those who have nothing and those who are threatened at this hour?